One-on-One with Jane Mitchell, featuring the legends.
Tony Gwynn. For 20 years in a Padres uniform, San Diego watched him deliver hit after hit, excel like few others, and be elected into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2007. It was a time of great celebration and pride. But in 2010, a diagnosis, cancer, and a hard-fought battle he couldn't win. Number 19 passed away June 16, 2014, at just 54 years old. A heartbreaking loss that transcended a uniform, touching all who knew him and many who just felt like they did because of the man he was. In this edition, we revisit his life story and listen to some of the beautiful tributes shared at the public memorial service celebrating the life of the late, great Tony Gwynn. The Carole King song, Now and Forever, from the baseball movie A League of Their Own, intertwined with images and emotion, embraces a ballpark of some 20,000 Tony Gwynn fans, heartbroken, all here on June 26, 2014, to mourn his passing and to remember their beloved number 19. Now and forever, I'll remember. Cry no more. Still more watch as the Padres' beautifully orchestrated summer evening tribute is televised on Fox Sports San Diego, sharing the dimensions of family, friends, teammates, faith, fans, and the game that Tony Gwynn valued so much.
19 doves to the heavens. We will cry together. We will laugh together. We will have joy together today, but one thing we will never do is to forget the greatest hitter of his generation and one of the greatest people in the history of Major League sport. I hear you, Tony. That's all right. Let him hear it.
While it is sometimes said, you don't know what you have until it's gone, in the case of Tony Gwynn, countless knew what they had, perhaps making it all the harder to say goodbye. As for the world of baseball, for generations to come, he will live forever, enshrined as one of the best to have ever played the game. Rewind now to the summer of 2007, when we documented his journey to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Elegant but not ostentatious, a step inside this shrine is a step back in time. Words etched on the wall remind visitors, in the Hall of Fame gallery are plaques dedicated to baseball's greatest heroes, upon whose shoulders this game has been built. In the grand archway, the first inductees, the class of 1936, includes Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, and Honus Wagner. Along the walls, bronze plaques with images and words are captivating, like reading a good book. But here, there's a new hero, a new character on every page. The words paint pictures of careers on the diamond, decade after decade. Babe Ruth, greatest drawing card in history of baseball. Ted Williams, batted .406 in 1941, named Player of the Decade 1951 to 1960. Hank Aaron hit 755 home runs in 23-year career to become Major's all-time homer king. And then there's the plaque that gives unexpected goosebumps. The name, Willie Keeler. His plaque's description, hit 'em where they ain't, baseball's greatest place hitter. batting champion 97-98. That's 1897 and 98, 100 years before Tony Gwynn would accomplish similar feats. Now, Gwynn joins Keeler and other legends as part of the elite 1% who make it to the majors, who then become brethren in the Hall of Fame.
Say hey, Willie Mays, Yogi Berra, Brooks Robinson, Reggie Jackson.
To tell Tony Gwynn's journey of becoming a Hall of Famer, we begin at the end. Induction Day, Sunday, July 29th, 2007.
Rollie Fingers, Willie McCovey, Sparky Anderson, Rod Carew, Dave Winfield.
Of the 61 living Hall of Fame members in '07, a record 53 are on stage for this annual celebration of excellence.
Bill Mazeroski, Sandy Koufax, Lou Brock, Johnny Bench, Gaylord Perry, Billy Williams, Brooks Robinson, Reggie Jackson, Ozzie Smith. Please welcome the newest members of Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame, Cal Ripken Jr. and Tony Gwynn.
With some 75,000 baseball fans gathered at the outdoor Clark Center site, 25,000 more than the last record crowd in 1999.
This is the largest induction ceremony in the history of the Baseball Hall of Fame, and you're part of it.
The men behind me are the definition of Hall of Famers. Character, integrity, sportsmanship, and incredible baseball careers. As chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it's my honor, Tony, to welcome you into our Hall of Fame family.
For me, this story kind of begins in Long Beach, California. As a kid growing up, my brothers and I watched baseball all the time, played it all the time in our backyard. And for us, I don't think any of us thought that hitting a fig or hitting a sock ball or hitting taped up a wad of tape was going to turn into this. It's just unbelievable.
Tony Gwynn had been to Cooperstown twice before, as a player in 1997 for an exhibition game and tour of the museum.
We got nice jackets back then.
And in May of '07 as an electee for an orientation.
All those kids walking around with their bills flat, we used to give them a hard time, like Lou Gehrig's bill flat as a pancake.
But this time, this sultry summer weekend would be the ultimate visit for him.
I played for one team, I played in one town. I told the people of San Diego when I left to come to Cooperstown, they were going to be standing up here with me. So I hope they're just as nervous as I am, because this is a tremendous honor to be here today.
Here, where the flagpole's the center of town, rivals become friends, legends are forever, and all baseball fans are welcome. And this year, they pay homage to Padre Tony Gwynn.
Yes, we've been waiting 5 years to be here. I'm getting goosebumps.
And Oriole great Cal Ripken Jr.
I was born in Baltimore and spent a majority of my life in San Diego since '71, so I get the best of both worlds. I'm happy.
So I was listening to the other Hall of Famers on the bus, and they couldn't remember a time seeing this many people. So for us four guys to come here for the first time on induction weekend and see so many people here, we cannot begin to say thank you enough, so thank you.
More of Tony Gwynn's induction speech later, but first, the career, circumstances, and phone call inviting him to the Hall of Fame. Through 2015, there has never been a unanimous vote for a person on the ballot for the National Baseball Hall of Fame, not even for Babe Ruth or Ted Williams. But Tony Gwynn, with nearly 98%, And Cal Ripken Jr. with nearly 99% sure got close back in 2007. They received among the highest number of votes ever as first ballot inductees, both well above the minimum of 75% and more than Gwynn could have ever imagined.
As a kid from Long Beach, a San Diego State basketball and baseball star, and a young outfielder for the San Diego Padres, Tony Gwynn held the Baseball Hall of Fame in high regard. A place for legends, untouchable, unreachable.
I thought it was cool early in my career that I got to play with some guys who I thought were going to be in the Hall of Fame.
What a difference 2 decades makes. He's a 15-time All-Star with more than 3,000 hits, 8 batting titles, 5 Gold Gloves, and a career .338 batting average, 17th highest all time.
I can't lie, when I retired, I watched every Hall of Fame ceremony from the time I retired until until January 9th, actually, and you know, you just don't know.
He retired in 2001, and 2 years later, we sat down with him one-on-one, knowing he'd be eligible for election in 2007. He listened to quotes from Hall of Famers gathered during our 2001 visit to Cooperstown for Padre Dave Winfield's induction.
Ernie Banks said he was going to
be there when Tony Gwynn comes into the Hall of Fame.
Willie McCovey says
one of the greatest hitters of all times.
Don Sutton said
if it were possible to waive the 5-year rule, they would do it for Tony Gwynn. He'll be here.
Wow.
Yogi Berra.
It's a shame he's going to retire after this year, but he feels he's had enough and he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. It's nice. It's really nice. It's and I tell people this all the time because, you know, since I retired, I get introduced as future Hall of Famer, you know, first ballot Hall of Famer, all that. We have to wait to see. You know, I dread talking about it because I don't want to jinx myself. Believe me, I want to get into the Hall of Fame, but it's not my call. It's not my call.
Fast forward now to early morning, January 9th, 2007.
Announcement day, just sitting there waiting, and when it rang and I looked at it and it was 212 area code, I knew that they don't call you to tell you didn't make it. Hello?
Hello, man. Speak with Tony, please.
This is Tony.
Tony, this is Jack O'Connell with the Baseball Writers Association from New York City. How are you today?
I'm good.
Tony, I'm calling to tell you that the baseball writers have elected you to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Wow. Tony, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'll give you a minute if you need it.
Yeah, give me a minute.
I see you feeling, pal.
Being called a Hall of Famer is just truly more than I ever could have imagined. So, and I love you guys too.
His late father imagined it. Charles long believed in his son's talent and potential, and by late 1993, while struggling with heart disease, he told Tony he should leave the Padres for bigger opportunities.
We argued about it, and I just told him, I said, Dad, this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, and he's like, man, don't you get tired of losing? Don't you want a chance to win a world championship? And I said, yeah, but it's not going to mean as much unless I do it here, you know. And so he was upset that day, and I thought about it. It was a Friday, so I thought about it that weekend, and was going to call him back, and you know, again try to explain to him the virtues of playing in one city and stuff, and we lost him that Saturday. Out of this whole 20 years, 25 years now of playing baseball and going through some ups and downs and struggling and having success, that sucks the most, not picking up the phone that day and maybe an hour later, a couple hours later, just picking up the phone and calling him. But
now knowing that dimension of his loss, we better understand his reaction to this question back on announcement day. I know you're all about heart and soul in your family, and I think people would be interested to know how you're feeling, what you think your dad would be thinking right now.
I think you'd be pretty proud today. I think he'd be pretty darn proud.
Tony Gwynn is honored here at San Diego's Breitbart Hall of Fame, class of 2002, recognized for his outstanding contributions to sports and the community. He made a career of doing his homework and being prepared, but starting with the day he was elected into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, even he wasn't ready for the whirlwind that becoming a Hall of Famer entails.
That beautiful sunny day at Petco Park is part of the blur of January 9th, 2007 for Tony Gwynn. Countless fans are clear about what Mr. Padre means to them. Why did you want to come down here today?
Oh, just to see one of the greatest hitters of all time.
We love him. We love him because he's faithful to San Diego and he has a place in our hearts.
As Tony Gwynn steps away from the stage, his young and proud San Diego State baseball team sends him off with the Aztecs fight song. While busy with interviews and checking out his new car from the Padres, his wife comments about the call.
That was the first time I've ever seen Tony ever break down and need a minute to get his composure.
What are you thinking about right now?
I'm thinking about having fun.
Starting with a trip to the Big Apple for a Hall of Fame media blitz with national media and appearances on the David Letterman Show and the Home Shopping Network.
I was like, wow, I just can't believe we just went on national TV to hawk our own stuff on national TV.
After sleeping most of the way home,
it was like, did that just happen? Did I just go to New York and sign all that stuff? And then now here I am back at home. And it's like, you know, my cake was still in there from announcement day, and you know, people had brought cookies and cakes and pies and stuff, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Hey, pitchers, let's go!
Not surprising to his coaches and team.
Hammer, you gotta touch the bag!
This is his heart. I mean, he grew up around here and he went to school here, and I mean, this is his love now, and I know he left his game behind, and it's nice that he's in the Hall of Fame, and it's nice to see that he still cares about us and gets back here in a matter of time. So.
And I think he knows what he is on the national stage, but at the same time, he loves these kids and he loves coming to work and helping these guys hopefully live a dream.
Fly ball, Nick, you gotta know where to go.
It's Saturday, March 9th, 2007. 2 months since the call, and the Hall of Fame electee and his Aztecs are playing in the second annual Tony Gwynn Classic at Petco Park.
Good breaking ball right there.
Between games,
These things make me nervous.
a tribute to him.
I'm thrilled that people remember what I did out there on the baseball field. It was a great time in my life.
A precursor to the summer ceremony.
God, that is so hard. How am I going to get through Cooperstown, man? I don't even.
That's gonna be rough.
Woo, it's going to be real rough.
After the meeting with the umpires and listening to his daughter sing the national anthem, Coach Gwynn has a job to do.
Green to first, and on Tony Gwynn's night, his players come up big, and they win it for the coach.
Still, the induction speech is a daunting task.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
You'll deliver.
I hope so, because if I don't, I'm going to hear about it. Trust me, I'm going to hear about it forever.
So, he's preparing.
Every day I write down something. You know, somebody I need to thank, somebody who needs to be remembered.
He keeps his speech under wraps as the spring unfolds, and a proud city and team celebrate his journey with a countdown to Cooperstown at the ballpark. In May, his Aztec team is out of contention for the NCAA postseason tournament. But the silver lining, he's able to travel back to San Diego in time to see his son play.
And so that brings up Tony Gwynn Jr.
Tony Jr. had been called up to the bigs with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Can't tell you what a rush it is to see him sitting down there, man. It's pretty awesome.
By July 19th, it's Tribute to Tony weekend.
Gwynn makes his major league debut July 19th. Hey, that's 25 years ago today.
25 years.
With the ballpark decorated with brown and yellow bunting, Padres colors his rookie season, and the countdown number down to single digits,
Jerry will now unveil the Tony Gwynn Wheaties box.
Saturday, an on-field ceremony before the historic unveiling of the 9-foot Tony Gwynn statue behind center field at Park at the Park.
A statue that will be in this city for this generation and all the generations to come.
Tony's baseball records are amazing, but he's a lot more than that. To many people, he represents the city of San Diego, and he has represented our city very well. We're lucky, and I mean all of us, San Diegans, Aztecs, Padres, that Tony Gwynn chose to make this city his home 30 years ago. Congratulations, Tony, on your election to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gwynn.
It's been an unbelievable ride for the last 6.5 months. And we're 8 days away and counting, and as you can hear, my voice is cracking, so you can imagine what's going to happen a week from now. So I'm honored to be the first guy, the first statue out here at Petco Park. I'm thrilled to death to be a part of it. But more importantly, I'm a San Diegan, okay? I'm a Padre.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As the game against the Phillies begins, Tony Gwynn takes his spot in the Channel 4 San Diego announcer's booth, sounding relieved and pleased with the statue's likeness and tribute to his father.
That phrase was, if you work hard, good things will happen. And that was on, they put that on the back of the statue. And, you know, I was at the front looking at it, and then when you see that on the back, it's Charles Gwynn Sr. underneath. It really meant a lot.
Over the years, the Padres have commemorated significant moments in Gwynn's career, joining the 3,000 hit club, retiring from playing, inducting him into the Padres Hall of Fame, retiring his number now perched atop the batter's eye in center field, and naming a street Tony Gwynn Drive alongside the team's new ballpark, which he helped champion. And now a statue the week before his induction.
I've been to Cooperstown, but to think that, you know, people thought I was good enough to be with him, I can't even. It's not going to hit you until you get there.
The charming village of Cooperstown swells from 2,000 to more than 100,000. It's sporting a summer sparkle, flowers blooming, the streets a-buzzing with baseball fans from everywhere. And while there are more Ripken fans here,
certainly there's a lot of fan support for baseball in the eastern part of the United States, but I think Gwynn gets his due as well.
Indeed, each day more and more of the Padres contingent arrives.
Good things happen to good people, and this is just great for him.
Couldn't miss it.
I absolutely would not miss it at all.
You know, I think that everybody, regardless of what team you root for, respects Tony Gwynn and, you know, the person he is and the way he plays the game.
Just stop any fan who's not wearing Padres gear.
Love Tony Gwynn.
Oh, you did? Even when he was your
yeah.
foe?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the game.
Well, I know that he was a totally excellent baseball player, and he's like the Hank Aaron of San Diego. Total icon, almost like God over there.
You know, one of his favorite moments of all time is that home run in 1998 at the World Series.
We were at that game, and the Padres were ahead until the Yankees had a great 7th inning and scored 7 runs. And I'm sorry, Tony, it didn't work out for you, but that's okay. He's still a great player.
And I think he's good for the game. I mean, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Tony Gwynn.
The fact that he stayed in San Diego when he could have made a gazillion more dollars going somewhere else, but he was loyal to us, which that means a lot to a fan. It really does.
While the excitement is building in town, it's a travel day for the inductees. That afternoon, the exquisite Lakeside Hotel Otesaga is ready for the weekend's Hall of Fame guests. It's locked down for security reasons, but granted special access, we're there first when the Ripkins drive up from Maryland. Then when the Gwynn gang arrives on a bus from the airport, after having flown on the Padres owner's jet, including Tony's wife, his mother Vandella, his daughter, other family members, and his brothers. Friend and agent John Boggs greets them.
How are you? Jane, how are you?
Good, welcome.
Thank you.
How was the flight?
Great.
Glad
Great.
to be here?
Finally, yeah. Glad to be here, and you know, let's go. Let's see what this is all about. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Inside, a piano sets the tone for an elegant, well-choreographed, and busy weekend. As the Gwynns pick up their official name tags and check in, Tony, in jeans, a sport coat, straw hat, and Padres logoed shoes, is greeted by familiar faces, yet seems a little overwhelmed.
Trying to relax and stuff, so we'll have a good time.
The next day, amid a thunderous rainstorm, we find a spot inside to sit down one-on-one. We saw you come in yesterday. You said, let's just go see what it's all about. Once you got inside, what was it all about? Who came up to you?
It's Tom Seaver was the first guy. He came up to me and gave me the standard, how you doing? Congratulations. This is going to be great. Your family's going to enjoy it. The Hall of Fame is great. At least as we're taping this right now, I'm calm.
Soaking in the kudos of his fellow Hall of Famers.
A lot of these guys have no idea how much of an influence they had in my career. We might not have talked, like George Brett, I haven't talked to him that much during the course of my playing career. But anytime if he was on TV, I stopped what I was doing to watch him. Rod Carew has been my idol since whenever, and when they were on TV, I stopped what I was doing to watch him hit.
Rod Carew, a line drive contact hitter like Gwynn.
You measure a man by what he does for other people, and that's the way I measured Tony Gwynn. As a great ball player and a great person and a great friend.
Concurring, the one-time Padres coach and the opposing manager in the '84 World Series, Detroit's Sparky Anderson.
The Tony Gwynns of this sporting world is a hope and a dream that you got him. Not because of what he does on the field. He's going to do that. That's his natural ability. But what he does as a person.
The writers are the ones who vote you in, but it's the acceptance of the guys who are already in there that allows you to relax and really try to enjoy it. And so thus far, been pretty good. They all seem to think I was okay.
We've been here since Tuesday, and we've talked to a lot of fans.
Yeah. I talked to Tony this last spring and said, I'm going to Hall of Fame. Yeah, sure you are. So, Tony, we're here, Tony.
And I appreciate that because, like I said last week, it's not just about me. I mean, everybody, I'm the guy being honored, but, this story's not just about Tony Gwynn. It's about my team, our team, the San Diego Padres, and our city.
And the fact that people who are fans of the game, who may have never seen you, but who know you and respect you, that's a good thing, too.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, it is because, it's a byproduct of lots of things, but probably the most important thing is doing it the right way. When you do it the right way, people let you know. They are not afraid to come up to you and tell you, hey, I appreciate the way you took care of your business. I appreciate the example you set for our kids. That means more than, whatever 1,300 and whatever number of runs or 3,141 hits. To me, that, having people come up to you and say that means a whole lot more than just the numbers.
With that, he tapes a message to the fans who'd be watching Sunday at Petco Park.
I hope to let the people on the East Coast know just how good of baseball fans we have in San Diego. So I hope you enjoy today, and I'll see you. Well, I'll see you in a couple of weeks when I get home.
Then he's ready for the parties and the golf to begin. And later, he takes his place on the grand stage for Induction Day. Friday evening, the Otesaga Hotel's front porch is the who's who of Hall of Famers.
Very nice, very nice.
In cocktail attire, catching shuttles to a private party. Our access allows us to capture the guest list: Wade Boggs, Ozzie Smith, Gaylord Perry, Frank Robinson, Jim Palmer, Al Kaline, Phil Niekro, Lou Brock, living legends. Then there's the newbie, Tony Gwynn, wide-eyed, in awe.
To me, it's like, okay, what doesn't belong?
By the traditional golf tournament Saturday morning, he's more relaxed. The media, a bit more frenzied. There's considerably more this year, and many from the East Coast, all vying for angles and interviews during the limited time access to most veteran Hall of Famers. Nevertheless, jump in to ask about Tony Gwynn, and the answers come easily.
I remember one of my first spring trainings in Yuma, Arizona, playing third base, and Tony hit one to my left, and so I'd move over there, and they'd hit one to my right, and he'd hit down the line, and then I'd play him in, and then he'd hit one over the fence, so there was just too many things to defend.
I don't think there's ever been a discouraging word written about that man, because I've met him a few times, the nicest fellow you want to meet, and pretty good hitter, too.
This weekend, he received the glory of being in the Hall of Fame, which he had worked hard to get here.
Batting titles, gold gloves, leadership. You're welcome, Tony. You deserve it, man.
A lot of these guys are saying some good stuff about you out here.
That's because you don't hear them behind closed doors like I do. I'm the newbie, I'm the rookie, and so it's really weird to be 47 years old and be treated like a freshman again. And all I can do is take it. I just got to take it, and whatever happens, happens.
As he continues his game,
I can't tell you how much fun we've had. We just, it's just being out here and, seeing the fans.
Those fans, Tony, wait for him along the roadside.
Thank you, Mr. Gwynn.
On the back nine.
I gotta go. Thank you.
After a day on the links, it's Padres party time. Private afternoon affair for friends and family.
Watched him play while I was in the minor leagues, and then was fortunate enough as a GM to see a lot of great years and help us win a lot of championships.
To have your first client go into the Hall of Fame, it just doesn't get any better. And he really hasn't changed. I mean, he's the same guy. That's the beauty of it.
The character of Tony Gwynn is the most important thing he owns, and that's what I love most about him.
Once in a great while, somebody epitomizes a team, a profession, a city, and Tony's done that.
I don't buy any of the nonsense that he tells people that he just had to work harder than everybody else. He did work harder than everybody else, but he still is as good as they get.
Tony was there in right field, and I always thought, I can't imagine a game without Tony. So now he's, I guess, where he should be. He's not going to be in right field. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
And that night, on their way to a dessert reception, Hall of Famers arrive by trolley. To cheering fans and clicking cameras. A red carpet evening before a day Tony Gwynn will never forget.
The plaques at the National Baseball Hall of Fame outline a person's career highlights and statistics. What they don't generally detail, who they are as a person, how they went about their baseball business, and what they had to choose, battle, or resist to get there. While we had told this story in San Diego in 2007, Tony Gwynn had an international stage to share his message about the people and the game he loved.
Tony Gwynn and Cal Ripken Jr. are the first to be elected from the so-called steroid era, two men never associated with baseball's blemish. And Gwynn expects that many years down the road, when someone looks at his plaque,
they're not going to know whether I was clean or not. And so that's one good reason why we do these one-on-ones, because I can sit here and tell everybody I was as clean as a guy.
all part of his story he shares on Induction Day. The stage is set. Far and wide, fans file in on their blankets and lounge chairs. It's a sea of Oriole orange and Padre gold, brown, orange, and blue, with plenty of signs and sentiments.
I was just envisioning Tony's smile and all he did for the city of San Diego, and every bit of it's been absolutely worth. This is a priceless moment right here.
You're celebrating just a hometown guy, not just a baseball player. And the country gets to see what we get to see every day.
He gave so much to San Diego that we had to come here and give back and let him see what everybody thinks of what he did for us.
San Diegans celebrate Tony Gwynn's favorite spot, his trademark hole between shortstop and third, where he got many of his hits. ESPN's cameras are in position to carry the ceremony live. In San Diego, Padres faithful are hearing his taped message at the Park at the Park.
You know, I went from being a 22-year-old rookie to a 41-year-old man, and we've kind of all gone through this process together, and it's really been a lot of fun.
Induction Day tops off 3 days in Cooperstown, a mix his family describes of anxiety and awe.
Just seeing the old timers come up to Tony and congratulate them, it's like, wow, you know, you're in that company, but I'm not sure Tony feels like he's in that company because he's saying, yeah, did you hear him say congratulations? Yeah, I heard him, Tony.
Played Little League together, goes way back, and very proud to see him accomplish this, and I think it's well deserved.
Wow, you know, my dad, I know he's looking down, and it's going to be emotional, but I think we're all going to have a lot of fun with it.
Perhaps it took being here to finally sink in, to feel he belongs, and for all the pep talks he gave his son, who's following in his footsteps. This time, it was Tony Jr.'s turn.
This morning, he said he was nervous. He said he was real emotional last night, didn't get very much sleep, but before I walked out the door, I told him everything was going to be all right. You know, it was no different than playing in front of 75,000. So I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to pull it together.
Tony's daughter Anisha sings the Canadian anthem
We sing on God
and the national anthem.
And the home of the brave.
Just in case a threatening storm were to hit that afternoon, the program order changes. So, to his surprise, Tony Gwynn is batting leadoff.
Can I call a timeout here? Because I need my nose here because I'm going to struggle. Hold on.
And once he settles in,
They've been telling me all day it's my day, so.
He indeed delivers. No script, just notes, and a confident yet down-to-earth tone, that signature Tony. For a half hour, he chronologically walks through many of his defining moments, giving credit to contributors to his life and career, from Little League to getting a basketball scholarship out of high school to San Diego State.
Tim Veazey was my first coach there, and he told me that as a point guard, your job is to make sure that everybody on the floor, all your teammates, are better players. At the same time, the reason why I went to San Diego State was so that I could play baseball also, and I played for a guy there by the name of Jim Dietz.
A mentor and friend throughout his career.
And he was very much a team kind of guy. The younger players could go to him.
Tony Gwynn explains the unusual fact that he'd been drafted by the Padres and Clippers on the same day, and then, upon choosing the Padres, worked his way up quickly from the minors in Walla Walla, Washington.
There was a cardinal rule when you got to the big leagues. Keep your eyes and ears open, keep your mouth shut. And I did that a lot. I kept my mouth shut, and I laughed a lot, because laughter I learned later on would be that thing that would disarm people.
This speech is a long way from one of his first television interviews, the night he logged his first major league hit.
Standing at second, and then Pete Rose comes up to me and shakes my hand and says, "You trying to catch me after one night?"
Known as the pioneer for using video in baseball, he says it all started June of '83 when he was struggling at the plate and on the road.
And I called home and I asked my wife, I said, "Honey, do you think you could hit the record button for me?" I would not be standing here today without video. And again, my wife hit the button, and all of a sudden it just opened up a new avenue for me, because I learned at this level it's about knowing what you do when you get in that batter's box. It's about knowing how they're going to pitch you, how they're going to play you, how they're going to attack you, and you having a game plan to try to attack them. 1984 was really a good year for us, for the Padres. We had some veteran guys on our club, a Steve Garvey, a Goose Gossage, a Greg Nettles, and I was the fortunate one because my locker was right in the middle of all those guys. Tried to emulate some of the things that Garv told me. He said, stay on an even keel. He said, never get too high, too low, just go about your business. Go about your business the right way. And that's what I tried to do.
And willing to listen, too, especially to Ted Williams at the 1992 All-Star Game.
The first time I met him, I had a bat in my hand, and I said, "Hello, Mr. Williams, how are you?" And he says, "Hey, Tony, how you doing? Let me see your bat." And I handed him my bat, and he started to pick his teeth with it. And if you're worth your salt as a hitter, your mind starts to race, it starts to tick. And really, what Ted made me do, he really made me think about the art of hitting a baseball. You know, 98, we just had a tremendous team in 1998. We're lucky enough to get to the World Series, happened to play the best team maybe in the history of the game in 1998, the Yankees. I never really looked at what I did as being anything special. I mean, I love the game. I think that's why you guys are here today, because you love the game. You have a passion for it. I have a passion for it. I still have a passion for it. I just don't play anymore.
His legacy is all that, and ironically includes encouraging people to not make a choice he made, using smokeless or chewing tobacco. While not medically confirmed, Tony Gwynn pointed to his long use of that as the cause of his oral cancer, requiring difficult treatment and disfiguring surgeries. In 2014, the Professional Baseball Athletic Trainers Society asked him to participate in a film on the subject. Too weak and too difficult to understand, he offered these words, quote, "If you aren't using spit tobacco, please don't start. And if you are using, try to quit. If not for yourself, then do it for the people you love."
One of his last projects was to make a public service announcement that will be used to educate major league players and young players across America.
Tony Gwynn loved his Aztec kids, as he called them, coaching there for 12 years. At the 2015 season opener, SDSU retired his coach's jersey, number 19, with a new tradition. One player who meets Tony Gwynn's ideals and values will wear it for one series a year. Chris Gwynn spoke on behalf of the family, guessing what his brother would say.
You know, this is great. I'm happy you guys are honoring me. But he would also say, it's time to play ball.
And on the one-year anniversary of his passing, in front of his bronze statue, Tony Gwynn's last baseball dream is realized, the announcement of a major annual college baseball tournament in San Diego.
This is what Tony talked about all the time after he'd come home from a game about this baseball classic. And this was one of the ultimate things that he wanted to accomplish. And before he passed, he talked to me about it. And he said, "Please don't let it die. Keep believing in me, and please carry on." And I promised him that I would. And today we could say that, you know, this is the start of the Tony Gwynn Baseball Classic. So I thank you all, and we thank the city of San Diego for helping us carry on Tony's legacy.
The championship format will kick off the college season each year and be co-hosted by the University of San Diego and San Diego State.
It's celebrating
Tony's legacy of doing things right and bringing the best college baseball programs to San Diego.
And to the young players that are here, remember this man. Remember what he stood for. And I hope that you can all walk in Tony Gwynn's footsteps one day.
For all he did in San Diego and the tributes that have followed, his induction speech from 2007 is a precious moment in time. Delivered with humility and heart, it allows for reliving, remembering, and rejoicing in the good that is Tony Gwynn.
I'm proud as heck to be a San Diego Padre. I played for one team, I played in one town.
He's appreciative of the Padres organization and his supportive family, including his mother, who didn't feel well, so stayed at the hotel.
So, Mom, I know you're watching on TV. I love you. Thank you for coming. Don't feel bad about not being here. We love you, and I'm glad you can make the trip with us. You know, my father passed in 1993, and this would be an event he would love to be at. He would love it. And then my family, my wife, who, again, I would not be standing here today without her. Honey, I love you. Thank you. My son is here. He made it yesterday. Him and his wife, Elise. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to be a grandpa in October for the first time, so that child's got no chance. Got no chance. And my daughter, Anisha, who sang the Canadian anthem and the national anthem, you guys, I'm so proud of you guys. I really am. You guys have, your mom did a wonderful job. And I've kind of rode in on the back end. You guys make me so proud just watching the way you handle. Being a son of a major league player is sometimes a difficult thing, but you guys have always handled it great. And the rest of my family, and that's you guys, that's the fans. My adopted family, especially my fans from San Diego. You know, it was 20 years, and we had a blast. I had a blast. I truly enjoyed it. But it wouldn't have been nearly as much fun if you hadn't been as supportive as you were. So I say thank you to all of our fans sitting at Petco Park in the morning. Thank you. To the fans who've made the trek, thank you. To the fans who are here to see everybody, I say thank you, because you know what? For the rest of my life, when I come here to the Hall of Fame and I look out and I see as many people as I see here today, I can say in our first time here, our first Hall of Fame weekend, the people were lined up way, way back to the trees. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
On a personal note, it has been a privilege to be entrusted with Tony Gwynn's story since 1997. The Gwynns always saying yes, inviting our cameras into their home to capture their experiences, to then share with the fans. By that 2007 Hall of Fame year, Tony joked he didn't think anything else would warrant another one-on-one show unless he goes to the moon. He's not on the moon, but it's clear he is in the heavens and in our hearts, with a legacy that's almost beyond words. I'm Jane Mitchell. Thank you for watching One-on-One. We leave you with some indelible memories of Tony Gwynn and a farewell for the ages.
Amazing grace.
All I want them to say about me is that I played the game the way it was supposed to be played, period.
He was and will always be a shining light on this baseball team and this community. And we close tonight, and it seems poetic justice that we return the favor and shine that light on number 19, Tony Gwynn.
Tony considered himself
an everyman, and he remained an everyman throughout his entire life.
During the dash of his 54 years, he showed us a template of how to live with dignity.
He was an incredible friend. He was a definition of friend.
Everything that Tony Gwynn did throughout his life became better, became so much better because of his association with it. Tony worked hard and he never cheated.
When he talked about his children, he just lit up like the sun. And it was something that I envied, partly because I never had a dad, and he would have been a great dad to have.
Bright shining as the sun.
From a Dodger fan, while working hard, he was always smiling, always laughing, and being jolly. He was Santa Claus in a baseball uniform.
Always being humble, always thanking us. Well, it's us that needs to be saying thank you to T. Gwynn.
You guys are why my dad loved San Diego so much. So thank you, good night, God bless, and be safe.
And